great games in this tournament. We have not gotten a ton of them. I mean, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. We have not gotten a lot of upsets. We have not gotten a lot of great games. We have not had I don't think we have any buzzer beaters, have we?
No buzzer beaters.
No buzzer beaters?
Almost had a John Tanji.
Right. He had a chance. Thought we might get one in this BYU-Wisconsin game, but it was technically an upset because BYU has a 6 seed. I think they closed plus 1.5. They get Wisconsin, and they are moving on to the Sweet 16, these Cougars. Another great game for Richie Saunders. Man, this BYU team, they've been doing it. If they didn't have that, and look, there's no shame in losing to Houston. If they had not done that in the Big 12 tournament, we would be saying, why can't this team win a title? Why can't this team go all the way? Their offense is unstoppable. I mean, they showed you today against the Big Ten. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to have that conversation about BYU.
Yeah, I thought it was a really, really impressive start, right? And I thought that, when they start making shots, man, and like Richie Saunders and Dallin Hall, Igor Demon played really well today. Trevin Nell knocked out a bunch of threes, right? When they get going and that offense is cooking, Kevin Young is really good at finding the matchup that they're going to be able to take advantage of, right? He's got that NBA mindset where it's, okay, well, you know what? This guy's got a mismatch, so we're going to go to him here. Richie Saunders has a guy that's not as fast as him. Let's get him in some zoom actions coming off those curls. John Tanji's making a bunch of threes. We're going to go put Mawat Mag on him. He's very much a matchup-specific guy and fluid in some of the ways that he kind of plays. Now, that's just sometimes when you get a take wrong, you got to sit up, you got to stand it, you got to wear it. I said, and I quote last night, Mawat Mag is going to shut off John Tanji's water. 37 points, 10 of 18 from the floor. That's what John Tanji did. That is definitively not having your water shut off.
Well, I mean,
but hold on. And that shows you how dangerous BYU is because John Tanji went nuts. John Blackwell finished with 21 points and 6 boards. Their two best players combined for 58 points. If I would have told you this morning, when you decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to walk up to the counter at the Aria Sportsbook. I'm going to lay down, we're not going to unit shame, X amount of dollars here on the BYU money line.
25 grand?
Yeah.
What was it?
And when you
am I bet too small for Rob?
and when you put that money down on BYU money line, if I would have said, John, just so you know, John Tanji and John Blackwell are going to combine for 58 tonight. You probably would have said, you know what? Maybe can I get that? Let me hit that cash out button.
Yeah, I probably would have gone the other side. I mean, and listen, let's be clear. I mean, they had a chance to win it at the Horn. They did, or at least they did in overtime, right? So it came down to a one shot, one possession game. But I think the biggest thing that you hit on was just that start. I mean, they were up 11 at the half. They just have so many different weapons, man. They have so many different ways that they can attack you offensively. And look, Houston is obviously a threat, and I'm thinking sort of big picture here, but there's not a team left in this field that BYU can't compete with, can't hang with, and honestly probably can't beat.
I wasn't sure Kevin Young was the right hire. When they hired him, you're choosing between, guys that obviously are of Mormon faith when you're choosing a coach, and there's not a big pool of candidates to select from. Kevin Young had a chance to be the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Had a lot of momentum in the NBA.
Dude, he's a beast.
Could have been a head coach in the NBA.
He's a beast.
And instead goes to BYU, and I'm shaking my head. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Why would you go to college now when you have a chance to be a head coach in the NBA?
Yeah.
He's done an incredible job.
Seriously.
They were 6-6 in early February. And they went on a run in the Big 12. They went on a run they're 11-1 since. Beating Iowa State twice. They won at Arizona. Mm-hmm. The only loss, I think, is to Houston in that stretch. It took him time.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Well, you know why? I was talking with some of the guys on the staff about it. It took him time to figure out, like, college basketball is significantly more physical than the NBA game. Significantly. It took him time to figure out.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it is.
I'm asking
the most part. Okay. I mean, I think it depends on the league sometimes.
Well, because Yeah, but in the NBA, like there's the point. One of the point of emphasis is freedom of movement.
Yeah.
Like you can't defend in the NBA the way you can defend in college.
Right,
That's why you don't
right.
see games that are that physical. So it took them a while to figure out, hey, you know what? Like we can't just have nothing but skill guys. Bakeda, he got to be in there, man. Mawat Mag, he's got to play.
I mean, I'm serious. I watched them today, and it's not just because I want to bet on them. I mean, they've been playing this way for 2.5, 3
Because they
weeks.
have a great combination.
They really
as
do.
You're saying,
They really do.
You got some tough, athletic dudes
Yeah.
who can guard and want to buy into
Yeah.
that. Then you got a bunch of skill position guys, and then you got Richie, who's just he's been awesome.
He's really
carried them.
tough.
And
He's really carried them.
And so if Alabama can get past St. Mary's tomorrow, right? We're going to get an Alabama BYU matchup.
Oh,
And
that'll be
those
fun.
two teams are like, they're kind of built similar.
It
right?
will be the highest total for a college basketball game ever.
Ever?
Yes, ever. Alabama BYU will be the highest total for a college
He's
basketball
saying
game ever.
for an over-under.
No,
He's
I
not
know,
saying
I know.
what the score is
No,
going
I
to
know.
Right.
One, like,
Loyola
is-
Marymount did.
that's just factually
Loyola
inaccurate.
No, it's
Marymount.
not.
There's
No,
no
it's
way.
not.
Loyola
There's no
Marymount
shit.
years ago.
No, it's
I'm
not.
sure there was a
Can
game.
BYU beat them?
It's gonna be the 200s. And yeah, of course. I mean, Alabama. It took quite the effort for them to even get past Robert Morris.
Right.
I mean,
I mean, you might honestly say you feel more confident about this BYU team, how they play, how they defend even now over Alabama. I mean,
I don't know. More confident is the way that I would phrase it is I think right now BYU is playing significantly better.
they're
and
more
is-
consistent.
Yes,
they're more consistent.
They have figured out how to make it work. Now, if it clicks and Alabama kicks into high gear, I mean, look, Alabama could beat anybody in college
If Mark
basketball.
Sears plays
They
his
beat
A
Auburn.
game,
They beat Auburn at Auburn. They
If-
could beat anybody.
if
in
Sears
college
plays his
basketball.
A game,
Yes,
that's the key.
and
That
and
is
it's not- I don't think it's just Sears, right? You need obviously you need to play his A game, but they gotta put their boots on, man. Like Cliff is gonna have to show. If Cliff gets outplayed by Bakeda, then Alabama's not winning that
what I
game.
love about BYU is that like you don't have to worry, you don't have to wonder about that shit.
Yep.
You don't have to say things like if Richard Saunders plays his A
No,
game.
they know their roles.
You don't have to. You just
They have
Yes.
bought, and that's where Kevin Young's done an incredible job, right?
Yeah.
It took him some time, probably, as you said, to figure out go from the NBA game to the college game,
Yep.
and also figure out like, okay, what are these guys? How do I get them to accept their roles? Because, again, so many of them are coming back and thinking they're going to take a jump when they do. The transfers are coming in thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a guy. And really, Richie Saunders has been the guy for this team, but they have other really good players around him.
Yeah, absolutely. So just could not be more impressed, obviously, with what BYU did today in that 91-89 win over Wisconsin. They are on to the Sweet 16. All right, we will come back. Lots more.